let's talk about Darqueze Dennard because people are upset. And I think I think I understand what they're talking about. So Darqueze Dennard, the way I looked at it was D'Amico Ryan said all offseason, he's our starter at nickel. And I was always kind of rolling my eyes like, don't lie. I mean, Darqueze has been around. He's a good story, but he was in the practice squad last year. He's at the end of his career. You don't really think he's going to start. What they did, they always wanted Sam Womack to be the starter. But you don't just make a rookie 5th round pick the starter. You have to make him beat someone out. So Darqueze was always the token vet that was never going to win this job. I mean, he was only going to win it if Sam Womack fell in his face. Well, Sam Womack didn't. Sam Womack made plays. So nothing personal, Darqueze, but they were never really serious about you. And that's the way I looked at it. There's players like this in every camp who they're a starter. Yeah, until the rookie takes your job.
Yeah. I mean, every personnel evaluator in the league knows what Darqueze Dennard is. He was a former first-round pick. He's got some good measurables, and he's in good shape. He's a solid citizen. He's a good guy to have in the room, but there's some limits to his coverage ability. So then it was just really about, could they find somebody younger, cheaper, and better? When you're a street free agent that's out there. I don't care if you do well or not. You're still a street free agent. That's your kind of caliber of player, and there's nothing against that. But he had gone from a first-round pick to a street free agent, and now Womack was there, and Womack balled out. Womack's got to be your nickel. This is pro football, man. You play your best players, and Womack's your best player. You got to play him.
And so when he went from first-round pick level to street free agent level, there's no coming back from that.
No.
And what the Niners are saying is, no, actually, he had a little bit of a rock bottom, but now he's a starter. No, he's a placeholder till the guy you drafted in the 5th round proves himself. Hey, that's a tough reality, but it's a tough business. And I think this was kind of telegraphed from the entire – really? You drafted Womack with the intention of having him start. You just don't say that when you draft. You want him to win a job. You don't want to anoint – that's a good culture thing, right? You don't anoint young players. They used to do that. They don't anymore.
Well, and they have other guys. It's not just about Womack. It's also about Diamador Lenore. It's about Quantrez Knight. They've got good depth at that spot, and I'm sure Dennard is the most expensive guy of the group. So you go with the best player, who's also the cheapest player. Win-win.
And so, okay, enough of Darqueze. Good luck in your future and good career.
And he's good enough to find a home, which is why they cut him now.
Right.
Because they didn't cut him at the end. They cut him now to do him a favor because he's going to play in the NFL this year, just somewhere else.
Good point. Meanwhile, he got cut because Sam Womack looked really good. All of a sudden, he's the Niners' best cornerback who's healthy. What'd you see from him?
Well, first of all, I always try to, the old scouting saying is let your eyes tell your mind what it sees. Don't let your mind tell your eyes what you're watching. So, but I watched this kid in minicamp, and he went from, he looked like he was bouncing around the field, like he was the best athlete on the field, like he owned the place, like he was the Pro Bowl incumbent. That's what kind of athleticism that he showed on the field. Then you look at his story. He went from a walk-on to an all-conference player. That tells you he led the nation or among the league leaders in passes defense. So this is a special player. And now it all makes sense to me, Grant, because the story I heard was that whoever the road scout was that went in there and had that region was pounding the table ferociously during draft weekend for Womack. And now we're seeing why. Kid's a big-time talent.
Well, he's passing every test so far. It's important to remember, though, that he hasn't faced someone like Cooper Kupp yet. The challenges are going to get a lot stiffer, but it's clear that he is the best nickelback on the team. And for a 5'9" corner, I did notice he has really long arms, and he seems to use all of the length. So that's a good thing.
And what he's got, you can't teach, right? I mean, you couldn't teach. You can't teach. Like you ask the Niner corner DB coaches, they can't teach man-to-man coverage. You either got it or you don't. This kid's got it.
Plus, not only the ability to stay in phase with the receiver in man-to-man coverage, but also the ability to turn your head, find the ball, and catch it. That I don't remember. I mean, Jason Verrett can do that. Other than that, hasn't been a lot of corners in this team that could do that. All Niners says, what does the Niners secondary look like if Verrett comes back early in the season playing like he did pre-injury? I wouldn't expect it. Every couple of weeks they ask Kyle, like, hey, is Jason, progressing? And he's like, no, not really. I mean, nothing imminent. So we'll let you know if anything changes on that. But he hasn't been practicing or anything.
They got a lot of bodies there. I mean, even though, you got Emmanuel Mosley, you got Charvarius Ward, you still have Ambry Thomas, you have Dante Johnson, the Kadar Holman has played some good man-to-man coverage. They brought in the kid, the veteran Crawley from the Saints. And now you've got Verrett as well. So they got Castro Fields as well. So they got a lot of corners, and that doesn't include Womack or Lenore or Quantrez, who are all in the nickel, are playing that nickel spot. So they got a lot of options this year, and they don't have to force Verrett back. But I'll say this, anytime Verrett's healthy, I want him because his feet are pro. He's got like all pro caliber, change of direction and footwork. I mean, he's one of a kind.
I thought you were going full Rex Ryan on us right there.
He's got beautiful feet.